never met someone who deserves the day the way that you do. Joseph, it's time to get ready and the spotlight's shining down upon you. Joseph, so be fast, hold from. I'm on my way, yeah, here it comes. And I'm delivering a wish to you, so get ready, get ready. From every peak and valley they're telling you to get ready, 'cause here it comes. It's on the way. It's a celebration across the nation.
Hey, listen up, y'all. I'm gonna shout out this young gun right here because he's trying to do his thing. Joseph Jaffe, not famous. Probably rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm famous because, you know, he not famous. And he like, yo, let me call my famous friends and see if they'll shout me out and make me more famous, sir. Right? But so, Joseph Jaffe, man, it's cool. You got your late night talk show popping off. That's what's dope. Streaming, been doing your thing, man. Started this in March of the 2020, which is, tough throughout the years, but booking great guests, man. Jamal Mashboard, James Rollins, steady building it, man. Keep it popping off, man. Keep building your brand, man. Believe in yourself. Keep going hard, all right? That's what it's all about. One of these days, this little acronym of yours, not famous, is not going to be true. People going to see you in the mall and be like, I know who you is. Them going to be your cousins saying it all incorrect like that. But you know what I'm saying? You know what you going to do. What you going to do? They family. All right, bro. I'll holler.
When it comes to chicken, I'm your guy.
Blinking.
I'll have what Joseph's has.
Look, somebody's talking about you.
This is what we call the voice of God.
Popping.
Everybody just gets to focus on you.
Grab me.
Probably not the best thing for an introvert.
I'm asking for you.
Well, I like a good chicken sandwich.
Touch me. Hi, David. Comment.
Oh my God.
Like.
You're actually an identical twin.
Push.
Maybe I'll just ask Julie to talk about what it is to be an identical twin.
Pick me up.
No, you didn't.
Shouting.
Surprise! Jeremiah, just hang on a second. I just got a text.
There's an edit for your new opening, Joseph.
I feel really honored to have been here, man.
By the way, you've done a masterful job. Seriously.
And it was such a joy.
Thanks, Joseph. It's an honor.
Good on you. This was a pleasure.
I mean, you are the prime example of how to pivot in this new environment.
I wish everybody gets an opportunity to interact with Joseph Jaffe.
Who needs Cameo when I've got my own personal Cameo? You know what? I'm going to just put it a little bit softer, and I always regret these things, but you know what? Who cares? So I'm just going to let loose with a little bit of who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? I mean, Evan Mendoza let the dogs out, and I will just stop there right now before I embarrass myself. But it is NFT Fridays, and it is time to talk to the head dog himself when he's not playing baseball as a shortstop for the St Louis Cardinals. He's become a bit of an OG in the NFT space, and we're going to hear from him and talk about this wonderful community that he's building. We're welcoming all the Diamond Dawgs, the community, into the show, into this community. A little bit of community swapping. If you are there, you can go ahead and make a comment. We will put you up on the screen. A little shout out to each other, a shout out to Evan. That's what we do here. We celebrate hope, positivity, and optimism. And if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing as well. But we are going to have fun. A little bit of a sneak preview. Next week, Greg Sattel, Eugene Campbell, who's playing his basketball in Europe, Mitch Jackson, and Carol Baskin on the show. You may recognize her from Tiger King, not Tiger Prawn, but Tiger King. Carol is one of the creator coin holders. She has a coin. I have a coin. Steve Garfield is here. He said David Bowie, Diamond Dawgs. Lubna is here, and Keith. Hello, Keith. Keith says, hello, dogs. Matthew Vaughn says, let's go. And Garfield says, Mitch Jackson, that's going to be a great show. Well, it is going to be a great show. But today is going to be an even more awesomer show. Matthew Sposter is going to be in the house next Friday, a little bit of a sneak preview on NFT Fridays. We're going to hear from Chibi Labs, Chibi Galaxy. He just announced a bit of an interesting deal. Timing is everything with Verizon. It's going to be really interesting to see what they're up to, what happens when brand collabs meet NFT community. It's a beautiful thing. And then a little bit of alpha for you guys. I'm doing 2 pre-tapings this weekend. Greg Sattel will be tomorrow, Saturday at 5 p.m. And then, I mean, this is just crazy. Nick Small is 14 years old, and he put out his own NFT collection called the Ranchy Rednecks. He sold out, and he's going to be my guest. We're recording 2:30 p.m. on Sunday. I love this space. I love this NFT space. Where else would I be able to talk to a Major League Baseball player and be able to also talk to a 14-year-old who's essentially rewriting the rules? It's just a fantastic thing when we think about what is happening here. The playing fields are being leveled, but more importantly is different voices, different people are having an opportunity to express themselves and to be able to demonstrate their creativity. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome. And Matthew Vaughn sends some fire signs to all the Diamond Dawgs. So one more thing just to share with you. We are giving away 14 years and a millionaire. I guess so. You could ask him. It's just crazy how our lives are changing in this space. One more thing, which is every single episode, I want to recognize and reward live viewers, people that have taken the time to watch the show live. I know we've got competing attention. We get distracted. I get it. But when people tune in and they give me an hour of their time, I want to give them something back in return. So that QR code, I will be giving away 50 pieces of my creator coin, especially for the Diamond Dog community. All you have to do is shine your smartphone on that QR code, or in my Discord channel, you'll see the link. And between now and the end of Sunday, you'll be able to get a little bit of coin. And every single day, I give away coin to my community. But in this particular case, and I certainly do want to thank Evan, we're giving away a Diamond Dog NFT. I'm going to give away a little bit extra coin as well. And all you have to do to qualify, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Thank you so much for doing that. It's bit.ly/subscribe to the show. And then go ahead and post or paste your username, your YouTube username in the giveaway channel in my Discord. Also, we ask that you follow the Diamond Dawgs NFT and myself, Jaffe Juice, on Twitter, so we can notify you if you won free stuff. But it's not just free stuff. It's actually giving and giving back to community. So a bunch of ways that you can interact. And one more thing as well, there's an after show. So if you want to come and hang out with Evan, and if you want to hang out with me, I do the after show every single day, where we get an opportunity to talk about the show, about the highlights, about what you took away. If you have any questions for myself or my guest, and I will paste a link to that shortly. So a lot going on, including the fact that we are now on the Marketing Podcast Network. So just search for Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous, and you will be able to listen to me in audio if you just can't stand the side of my face. And trust me, when I look in the mirror, I can't stand the side of my face either. So you have options. Well, now it is time for our seated soliloquy. And again, if you are new to this show and new to the community, it's an opportunity for me to give you a monologue but it's always a monologue that is connected to my guest. And in this particular case, I called it playing a role. Now, Evan is a major league baseballer. He is an athlete. He is a star, but there is more to him than meets the eye. He's an engineer. He's an architect. He's a designer. I still have to talk to him about this. He hand drew this entire collection. I think basically when God was handing out talent, he just decided to pour it all into one human being. But the question that I'm going to ask him is it not enough just to be an athlete or a baseball star? Why NFT collection? Why get into technology? Why go and express yourself differently? Why not just focus on baseball? And it's a rhetorical question. We're going to hear from him. But part of the answer is why not? Part of the answer is why do we bucket ourselves? Why are we bucketed into roles, into basically what society thinks that role should be? The role that we should play. Oh, you can't do that because you're X or Y or Z. To hell with that. We have an opportunity to express ourselves any way we want. One of the things that's happened to me as I've become a father and as I've grown up and I've seen my children growing up is sometimes they'll tell me, oh, you can't do that because that's not what dads do. That's not what old dads do. Well, I'm 51 years old, but I have the maturity of a 15-year-old. So, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. But Discord, for example, why shouldn't I be on Discord? Yeah, I know my 14-year-old is on Discord and he can teach me a thing or two, but I'm becoming a bit of a power user on Discord myself. The role that I play in my life is the role that I choose to play. It is maybe the role that I was destined to play. And why can't I be versatile? Why can't I demonstrate my width, my breadth, my depth? Why can't I stretch myself? Why can't I take risks and fail perhaps? But ultimately, if I'm playing a role, that role is my life. It isn't one that says, you can only do this or do that or behave in a certain way. So I want to take this opportunity. I was inspired by Evan today. I'm sure if you're part of this community, you are inspired by him as well. You play any role that you want to, that you choose to. Put in your 10,000 hours. You don't have to be the best. You can even suck. As long as it gives you pleasure, as long as it gives you joy. And ultimately, remember, we have one life to live, one life to lead. So make sure that whatever role you choose to play, you are the starring role in your life. And now it's time to bring on really the starring role, I should say. But before we do that, I just want to acknowledge a few other people that are here. Gaming Society says, we love Evan. Andrew Snyder says, Joseph, love that inspiration. We all have limitless potential. Keith says, right there with you. 54 with curiosity of a young person. And finally, Lubna says, don't let anyone tell you what you can and can't do, have, etc. Be your own hero. Well, here is someone who no doubt is a hero to many people. We're talking about the head dog himself, Mr. Evan Mendoza. And you know what? You probably know a lot about him, but let me take the opportunity to give you just a little bit more of a sense of the collection and him. The Diamond Dawgs collection consists of 7,000 generative baseball characters, hand-designed and drawn by professional baseball player Evan Mendoza of the St Louis Cardinals organization. Evan Mendoza is a major league player. He's a shortstop. He's the founder and CEO of the Diamond Dawgs NFTs. His passion for baseball and art has come together to create an inclusive community in the metaverse. He believes deeply in being able to interact and connect with his fans using art as the genesis. His unique hand-drawn Diamond Dawgs are his twist on the traditional baseball card as a building block to grow a brand and carve out his spot in this new emerging landscape. He's excited to continue on this journey and reach his goals. And now it's time to welcome him on the show. Are you ready for him? Yes, we're going to do an old joke that we do every single week. We're going to say, Evan, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
So I always say that, you know, I mean, we all live in this now world where we're anonymous, where we don't actually show our true identity. We hide behind our avatars. But guess what? Everybody knows who you are. You are doxed. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm Evan. Thanks for having me on the show.
And now, swing it, dog. We've got some woofs. We've got lots of comments. Stephanie Novak says, Evan, let's go. Swing it, dog. What is swing it, dog, the hashtag?
So it's honestly the origination of the Diamond Dawgs. It was early August, I believe, when I was kind of going through a rough patch during my season. And I usually used art during my season as a form of relaxation and almost therapy to that extent. And, you know, I was going through it, wasn't really excited about my performance on the field, and late at night was staring at a canvas, blank canvas, and our team saying basically this past year was swing it, dog. It basically represented a way of saying keep it going. I like the effort. Yeah, whenever we took a really aggressive swing at the plate, the entire dugout would yell out swing it, dog. So I'm looking at that canvas late at night. I don't really hear the word swing it, but I hear the word dog. And the way we said it kind of had that emphasis on the W, and then that's kind of where the creativity really sparked, and I, you know, rushed to kind of sketch out the first ever Diamond Dawg, and the rest is history.
Well, we're going to focus on this collection and this community. But you know, one thing that Lubna says is art. I love this. I get goosebumps actually reading this. Art as an act of self-care, that you were able to, I mean, and think about what you've created by this act of self-care, right? Taking care of yourself. And now think about how many lives you've touched and how many lives you're taking care of and how everyone is taking care of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Who ever thought or ever, you know, would have thunk that art, which you would think is so maybe passive, could be anything but.
Yeah, and I think, of course, it's a byproduct. The community that we've been able to build over in Discord, on Twitter, the authenticity of those community members, it's been really special to me. And like I said, it's a byproduct of, I guess, just taking care of myself. And I think that's very, very true to all the community members. We try to take care of each other, and sometimes we lose sight of trying to take care of ourselves. So I think it's really awesome to be able to see, you know, all of this come together, you know, by a very simple thought I had of, you know, I enjoy art. I'm going to use it to relax. If it sells, it sells. It doesn't matter. But I'm taking care of myself at the end of the day.
Well, and you know, we all know that analogy. When you get on a plane, they say when the masks drop down from above, first put it on yourself and then put it on your child or whomever is next to you. And it runs antithetical to our lives. We want to take care of our children. We want to take care of an elderly parent. We want to take care of someone who's not able to take care of themselves as well as we are. But what use are we to them if we're not around? Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, so Elvis says hello, and Jay Travis says LFG dogs are here. We know exactly what that means. In fact, we have a very special effect, which for those of you that are new to the space, LFG means let's go. So you see, this is the production studio of one. Being I can do a lot of things. Before we go back to the dogs, I wanted to just take a step back. I always look at the day. Today is February 4th. Today is World Cancer Day. My mom, a little shout out to my mom. She's in South Africa, 5 years into a chronic battle with cancer, but so many people are suffering, whether it's cancer, whether it's COVID, etc. We just want to do a little shout out to all of you and let you know that you're not alone. At the very minimum, you can come hang out with this community, but more importantly, think about these wonderful communities that are being built in Discord, but specifically these NFT communities. Evan, let me ask you a question, and then before we continue, which is, the whole criticism. An NFT is just an overpriced JPEG. You can just right click and download it. You can just basically, I mean, what are they missing when they don't understand the community component about what's being built?
Well, obviously a lot, as you and I both know. There's a ton of research that needs to be done within the NFT space, but a lot of people just see it as face value of there's nothing that you can use to get this or that. And I like to try to explain it to some of my teammates as every project's going to be different. Every project's going to offer a special utility, a special, anything in the real world that you're able to redeem potentially. So I think it's up to the individual to really do that research, to really find out the special traits and capabilities of what each project that it comes with, basically.
Well, it's true that every project is different. By the way, every single day of my life in the space, I'm learning something new. I'm making a mistake.
I agree.
It's actually just it drives me crazy sometimes, because it's like, seriously, what kind of a learning curve is this, where and dealing with all the FUD and dealing with all the rug pulls and dealing all the alleged rug pulls. And I think to myself, it's just probably a founder who just got completely overwhelmed, overloaded, and kind of ran because they're like, I don't know what to do here. So it's definitely an amazing learning curve. But before we go back into NFTs, we can all read about you, Evan, on ESPN. We can all look at your stats. We can all look at the Wikipedia entry. But how many people know who the real Evan Mendoza is? And so we sent our reporters into the field. We looked into your past. We went through the dumpsters, and here's what we found about you. First of all, who knew that you love to cook and your specialty is molten lava cake? My son would love you because that is his favorite dessert as well. So I love how in addition to everything, damn you can cook as well, and you cook with a St. Louis cap on, apparently.
Yeah, the lava cake is honestly coming from a TikTok video that I saw during quarantine, and I told myself, you know what, why not me? I'm gonna try perfecting this, and I've probably made close to maybe 100 lava cakes since early 2020. That's kind of my specialty. I always like to share it on Twitter and Instagram with my community. And then I also even included the recipe and the directions within my Discord for any of my community to, if they wish to try it, try making it for themselves. And immediately after I posted that, it seemed like the next day, the next night, a few of the members, took it upon themselves to learn. And, that was a really proud moment of, people sharing a passion that I have of baking, which ultimately originated from my grandma. And, that was really special to me.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm now getting to the point where my question for you is there anything you can't do?
Well, I mean, that's the mentality. I think I've heard interviews of, maybe it was Michael Jordan. I'm not really sure. I think he has a really strong passion for golf. He lives a little north of where I'm at right now, and around Jupiter, Florida. But he thinks really that if he spends enough time in the game of golf, that he can be a professional. And I honestly think that same way with basketball. I know my height doesn't necessarily help with that, but usually in the off season, I really enjoy trying to do something that I enjoy doing, but two, that I feel like I can better myself. Basketball, for me is a way to be athletic, get some conditioning in the off season, and learn a new skill. And honestly, I can say a couple months ago, I started playing pretty consistently, and of course, just over a couple course of a few months, I've gotten to be pretty good. So I tell myself if I ever wanted to go back to college and try out for the tennis team at whatever university, I feel like I could be able to do that. So I kind of strive to do anything I put my mind to.
I think I want to see you on Celebrity Hell's Kitchen, maybe.
I only have a few recipes that I feel confident in, but if it's anything like the TV show Chopped, where they give you a set number of ingredients and you have to use those, that's when I would be lost.
Well, Elvis says, please send us the recipe. And Ryan adds, Evan with a fire hairstyle today. I noticed it as well.
Just hopped out of the shower.
Huh?
Just got out of the shower.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
no,
right.
Chloe, who actually works at the Gaming Society, she texted me saying great hair day. I don't know what's up right now. But I don't usually put anything in it. It just my siblings kind of made fun of me because of my hairstyle always being really spiky. So it's just something that I really don't know. I just hop out of the shower and it is what it is. I do need to get a cut though.
You just got out the shower. Right now there are millions of people just going, I hate you, as the receding hairline. That's why I'm kind of like trying to look up this way as well. Michael wants to know, when is the baking class with Evan?
Yeah. We could do that. I think that's so one thing I've really learned through the NFT space is nothing's impossible. So I feel like we could easily integrate some type of meetup where everyone's given all the ingredients, and maybe I could get into almost like an industrial style kitchen and teach everyone as far as what I know about my lava cake, and teach some of my holders or something like that. That'd be awesome.
I'm telling you now that I'm telling you now that I am absolutely coming to that class. There is no question, or that meetup. Well, we're gonna do we're gonna do a little bit of a sidestep, because as I said, as we went deeper into your dark past, we found out that you have something in common with Peyton Manning. Would you believe Peyton Manning? Now you're thinking, you're like, what do I have in common with Peyton Manning? Well, apparently he loves Emily in Paris, and who knew? But ultimately, this was him on SNL. I guess you could have been there with him. You obviously didn't see the skit, or did you?
No, I did not see the skit. No, not at all. No.
It's hysterical. He's giving commentary, but all he can talk about is Emily in Paris. So now the two of you have something else in common.
Yeah, I honestly just started the show a few weeks ago, and I rarely watch Netflix or any type of show. I feel like I try to devote my time to things that I'm creating rather than consuming. So watching any Netflix and binging a series, that's consuming content. And I feel like deep down I'm a creator. So this show, I don't know. I like the plot. I enjoyed all the characters. I especially really enjoyed all the fashion in the show. That's something that I'm constantly always trying to improve on. And, I enjoyed the show.
If people are looking for, even right now, if we ended the show, there is an unbelievable takeaway. And what I do is I try, amidst all the camera angles and the sound effects, etc., I try and take notes. I mean, you can see my scribbles over there, because I never want to forget these insights. Doing 5 shows a week, 325 plus guests. But this idea of I try and spend my time creating, not consuming. I mean, right there, if people did that in their lives, if they'd adopted that, their lives would be forever changed. It would never be the same again.
I learned that over, it's as simple as it may sound, over a TikTok video. And this was during quarantine, where a lot of people were sitting at home, not necessarily contributing to themselves. They were sitting around consuming a lot on TikTok. as I did. I'm not going to lie. I consumed a little bit, but I also feel like I won quarantine because I started creating and I started understanding that. But I saw a video and it basically referenced that at the time, like Charlie D'Amelio and Addison Rae, they're the biggest thefts out there. And I was like, okay, that was the hook to the TikTok video. And I was like, okay, I'm curious. Why does this person say that they're thieves? Like, what's going on? And ultimately, it's because they're stealing all of our time. They're creating these videos that go ultra viral and they're stealing 30 seconds of our time. And that's 30 seconds you, one, can't get back and aren't contributing for yourself. So kind of to our first point about taking care of yourself, I told myself I'm going to create for myself and let other people consume on my behalf. So that's kind of the ideology behind it.
So my hatred for you now continues because you're also a damn good philosopher as well. Yeah, I mean, it is so true. It's like, how many times do we say in our lives, that's 1 hour of my time I'll never get back again. I mean, I really hope that people that watch this show, that they never, ever, not even one show, they say that's 1 hour I'll never be able to get back again. Even though they're consuming the show, I hope that they are learning, educating, being inspired.
Exactly. There has to be a purpose behind a lot of things. And if this is an education to any of your audience, then you're not necessarily consuming content and wasting that time. You're actually educating yourself. So as you would go into a college course, maybe 3 times a week, and you would listen and consume an hour, but you're also educating yourself, and that's hopefully going to push you, whatever you do in your life.
I have to say, Russell Eubanks won the show in comments because he just said, "Baller, I won quarantine."
Yep. I view it as very black and white. You either won it or you lost it. I tell that to my close friends and family because I know a lot of people took steps down during that year and a half. And it's all about, constantly elevating yourself, whether it's a 0.5% every day. I'd much rather go up than go down.
Well, this looks weird, by the way. I think I'm gonna have to change it. I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, we'll go back there as well. Evan, I really love what you're saying, and Emmanuel, just to my heart, he said that's an hour I wish I had 2 of. No one's ever said that. It's like they want more time. Clearly not with me, but with you. But one person that everybody wants more time with is a good friend of mine. I'd like to refer to him as my brother, Brian Fanzo. And I'll tell you, if not for Fanzo, I wouldn't have been able to meet you, and I wouldn't have found out about this project. And Fanzo actually is our correspondent on a Friday. So he always talks crypto, Web3, NFTs, metaverse. And on very special occasions, rather than sending in a canned vignette, he actually joins us live. So Fanzo, welcome to the show.
Hey,
what's up, Fanzo? How's it going?
Nice to meet you in person, my friend.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I've been listening along. I love all the things I heard, although I'm a short guy too, so like my hockey career was always like I'm not going any further than college hockey because of my height. But yeah, loved all the good stuff that you guys are sharing, and winning quarantine. That's a good one. That's legit.
Well, Fanzo, you have a vignette to offer, so I'm going to put you in pole position, and let's hear what Mr. NFT 365 has to say.
Yeah. So, I think when we think about, NFTs, and, I think there's a lot of conversation recently about like NFTs for business and the role that they're playing. And let's face it, most brands recently over the last 6 months have done a really bad job of rolling out NFTs in the sense of understanding the culture, understanding the narrative that's important. But I do believe we're starting to see a shift. And I would say that I'm going to kind of put that challenge out for those that are looking at something like the Super Bowl. We heard today that the Super Bowl is going to give out like a complimentary NFT for all of the Super Bowl ticket holders. And for me, I'm a little worried about that idea because it almost sounds like a vanity metric that they're going to kind of award and say, here, if you have a Super Bowl ticket that you spent $2,500, $4,000 on, here's like a picture that you can put in your wallet. But if we take the opposite of that, Coachella one of the largest concerts in the world, just rolled out their tickets, and they're actually rolling out their tickets as NFTs, but they're actually doing it in a way that they're going to unlock different aspects of art, unlock different experiences at the event, and in a way reinvent how you experience probably one of the greatest concert experiences out there. I've only been once, and it was many years ago, but they got me interested about coming and going this year. And so really my challenge out there for brands and businesses is how we look at NFTs. Just because a big name like the Super Bowl is giving these out as kind of like vanity to the ticket holders, and just because celebrities are going to talk about NFTs on the commercials, don't let that be the use case that you think about when it comes to NFTs. I think Evan and the Diamond Dawgs is a great example of someone that understands community and connecting with your true fans, and something like Coachella that's going to reinvent an event that is around an experience unlike something else. And so if you're willing to reimagine and not just take some of the, I would say the vanity NFTs that we're going to be, seen displayed over the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to see brands, businesses, and events really attack this space in new ways. So hopefully people kind of take that Coachella example and not the Super Bowl example, and also learn from examples like Evan and really how you build a real community in this digital world. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you're enjoying. If you check out NFT 365, today's day 84. So 84 straight days of the podcast. And there might be a Jaffe shout out in today's episode. So I don't have to say that for Jaffe because he listens to all of them, but always a pleasure to jump on here, and nice to speak to you, Evan, in digital world.
Yeah, thanks, Fanzo. I really appreciate the kind words. That's awesome to have you on.
I love shout outs. And it's and just hang out for 1 minute longer, Fanzo, because now comes the time, one of my favorite times in the show, where I actually go ahead and I mint live. You know what? I always mint one, but I've got to say at 0.03, I'm going to have to mint. I'm going to have to mint more than that. I'm going to mint 3.
Wow, let's go.
So we're going to go ahead and mint live. And am I going to do it with gas at $219? Yes, I am, because
wow, that's hefty.
We got to do it. So I've gone ahead
much love. Thank you.
But that's the problem when it's live. I mean, it's like you don't really have a choice, do you?
No.
So
thank you, though. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. A little bit later in the show, I will reveal my new Diamond Dawgs.
Awesome.
And I'm so happy just to be a part of this community now. I do these Friday shows, and I feel like it's not just a guest on my show now. It's a friend, and it's access to a community.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Fanzo, for the introduction.
My pleasure. Yeah, and I got Evan coming on the podcast too, so it's fun how that works. And I'll just say, I got like my dream Diamond Dog, because it is a gold Diamond Dog as a Pirates fan, and it's wearing a catcher's gear, which is what I played my entire career. I actually, the weird segue is I got scouted by Arizona State University my sophomore year in high school, but it was really because the pitcher I was catching was recruited. He ended up playing for the Oakland A's from Virginia Beach, and I ended up moving to third base, and then I got beat out by this guy some people might know as Ryan Zimmerman, who plays for the Nationals. So he beat me out for as a freshman. He knocked me out as a senior in high school from position, and I was bitter. And then all of a sudden, he went on to have this amazing career in the majors. Mm-hmm. So I challenge. We'll see what you get, Jaffe. But I got my gold Diamond Dog that's in my hardware wallet because it won't be sold. It's one that kind of encapsulates all of me. So good stuff, awesome. Evan. I'll see you on my podcast, and Joseph, always a pleasure.
All right, my friend. I will see you. I will see you soon. I love the live Fanzo, but while we're at it, let's see what I got. I mean, let's kind of keep it going.
Might just have to refresh some metadata, but
that's why I'm doing it live.
Let's go.
Travis said, "Let's Willie pull an apocalyptic eyes dog," and Steve Garfield said, "You can't choose the NFT you want; you just get a random one." That's the fun.
That's the fun. That's the pack pool of opening up a pack of cards. You never know what you're gonna get. My host brothers did that just yesterday. They opened up a pack and they were looking through them. That's part of the fun.
All right, so I've gone ahead now and refreshed my metadata, and let's just see what we pull. If Broken Sea will allow us.
Yeah, Broken Sea. Might be.
We'll come back to it.
A few minutes.
Okay.
Sometimes there's I believe that there's a secondary placeholder image. So that's usually the before I guess it gets fully processed. I'm not really sure. I'm somewhat of a techie guy. Of course, I understand how smart contracts work and like true false statements and stuff like that. If then. But as far as coding, that's just well above my head. I know nothing about coding, which is why I have a developer by the name of Matt handle a lot of difficult things for me, I guess I should say.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, which is the technical side of NFTs, right? Mm-hmm. What did you learn? It seems, Evan, these days that every single launch, especially every high-profile launch, is just an absolute train wreck. It's just like unbelievable. You just sit back and you're like, oh my God. How was your launch technically? Did things go wrong? What have you learned through this process from a technology, a coding standpoint that you would do differently if you could do it all over again? There are a bunch of questions in there, I know.
I would honestly say from my end on things that I can personally control is, I guess, understand the layering system of how to create each trait where it flows and meshes a lot better. That's personally something that I take responsibility for, where I feel like I could have done a little bit better job in certain areas. And of course, art is valued at the beholder of, how much they enjoy it. I nitpick where I see something and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. But to the holder, they might actually really love that dog, might completely overlook that small little detail that I get irritated with. So like things like that, I think is something that I'm going to continue to teach myself new, unique ways to, make projects not only mesh better, but also, flow good at launch. Our launch, we actually initially launched late October when gas fees never really got below $200 for over like close to a week and a half, 2 weeks. I personally understood this because I was trying to have my sister mint a Diamond Dog. Gas was around $150. And I usually tell any of my close friends and family, wait until at least at the very bare minimum, it's under $100. It didn't get under $100 for around 2 weeks. So we lost a lot of momentum, unfortunately. And we ultimately decided to pause our contract for about 2 weeks and then relaunch it, get some momentum building up again. We also lowered the mint price to make it more affordable to the first-time baseball fans that are now minting for the first time. Of course, gas fees are, it's a very scary concept because you don't really understand why you're paying it. I like to explain it as like shipping. You don't get that money back. And sometimes people don't want to spend $150 for gas. So we ultimately lowered the mint price, launched early December, and things went a lot smoother then. And then we started to see the pickup of, mints and, just the slow, continuous incline, kind of like I mentioned earlier, of, contributing to the community of the NFT community.
Do you have any doubt in your mind whatsoever that about selling out?
I think that's something that is going to come with time. I think, as long as I'm contributing day in and day out, I'm showing the effort, I'm showing the authenticity, which I created all the traits myself. I'm an artistic guy. So I don't think there should be any doubt in anybody's mind that this is a rug pull or anything like that. This is my baby. I put in a lot of time and energy and effort where, with that being said and how I'm contributing in the NFT community, if I'm also contributing on the biggest stage and playing Major League Baseball and continuing to grow my baseball skills and, maybe win a Roberto Clemente award of giving back the most, the guy that gives back to the community the most. That's an award that I would want to win one day. If I won a Gold Glove, if I become, a very established name, almost a household name, I think, all those things are going to continuously build on top of each other. And then ultimately I'm going to, it's going to feel like maybe a blink of an eye. I'm going to see the Diamond Dawgs have finally sold out, which is going to be an awesome feeling. And that's when, the real work happens.
Yeah, we've got a regular commenter by the name of Brian Fanzo who said, I'm 1,000% bullish that Dogs will sell out. Well, I mean, you just sold another 3 today. Slow burn projects for the win, and Evan has already provided proof in the Dogs utility. You know what's interesting to me, Evan, is that instead of asking, or instead of focusing, as so many people might, about, well, how do you balance both, and what does your employer have to say about your side business or side hustle, and how do they cannibalize each other? Or you've done the exact opposite. You've said, wait a second, how can one enforce or amplify or feed the other? Now it's clear how MLB, and how your professional career, especially notoriety, visibility, can help feed the community. But how might the Diamond Dawgs, the NFT collection, actually make an impact to baseballers and to athletes?
Well, I've kind of thought about this, and I kind of just there was a time where whether I read a comment, and I kind of just got into this thinking and brainstorming mode of, if there was ever an article like a Sports Illustrated, ESPN magazine, maybe even Forbes, and being on the headline, on the cover, what would that title say? What would like the main caption be for this article to summarize it in total? And of course, mixing myself with the Diamond Dawgs, like, what do I want that to look like? What do I want that to be? And I honestly thought about it, and I said, simply, baseball is cool, comma, again. Because baseball used to be the biggest sport in all of America. 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s, Barry Bonds, McGuire, the home run chase, all that was so exciting in the summertime. That's America. Hot dogs, beer, baseball. That's what baseball is. Of course, baseball has unfortunately taken a little bit of a dip because of the pace of play. NBA and NFL, they're constantly growing and evolving. And baseball, unfortunately, has a lot of tradition. I love the tradition, though. I think that's one thing that separates us from NBA and NFL. We hold true to that tradition of how the game has evolved, how we respect the veterans of the field, and how there are unwritten rules at times that irritate people. But at the end of the day, baseball needs to become cool again. And I think one project that I'm very inspired by is the Smiles. Wahid is an incredible artist, and he's been able to connect the hip hop culture, the music industry, and all that culture into one project and these characters. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish with the Diamond Dawgs. And it might not be the Diamond Dawgs that you see today, but I'm constantly trying to learn and educate myself. I'm currently learning Blender to create some 3D artwork of what is soon to be Diamond Dawgs 2.0. So if I'm able to encapsulate baseball as a whole, and to be able to make those connections to like, wow, baseball looks fun. I want to be a baseball player when I'm older. If I'm able to do that to the younger kid, maybe that's 12 years old, that is going to be the norm of buying NFT projects, that would be a dream come true. So to make baseball cool again, to make baseball fun again.
Well, I think you've already done that in my eyes as well. I was looking at the comments earlier, and we had, there've been so many, but where was Andrew Snyder? He said his parents have a bakery, and so he's prepared to host you when you come in for your molten,
that would be amazing,
lava cake when you play the Mets next.
So let's go. That would be actually really, really cool. And
there it
is. To kind of just like hit on the point of like, how do you have the time to do all like this and that? I almost want more and more and more on my plate. How can I be more efficient with my time? There are hours throughout the day where I just sit back and relax and I think, but I ultimately, like, if I'm in the middle of the season, I'm playing ball at 7 o'clock at night is when the game starts. Usually you show up around the field at around 2 o'clock. Yeah, it takes a couple of hours to get the adrenaline out of your system after the game. So maybe you're going to sleep late, but ideally, if it's the weekend and I'm able to get to a bakery at 10 o'clock and spend an hour with some of my holders and teach them how to do a lava cake, I am so for that. So I think that's going to be like a real possibility in the near future. And honestly, I just keep pinching myself and I'm like, this is all because of NFTs. This is all because of NFTs. It's really crazy.
I'm just seeing all these wonderful comments. Russell said, gold, Jerry, gold. How can I be more efficient with my time? And Michael Lingenfelter, he demands a response right now, Evan. This is a tough question. This is the kind of, this is why this talk show is just, it puts Fallon and Kimmel, and all of them to shame. The question is, win the World Series or be the next Bored Ape? This is
Win the World Series. Win the World Series.
That was an easy one.
Yeah,
come up with a harder one.
Well, that's because honestly, I think it's important to know who I am. My number one passion, my number one love is the game of baseball. I've unfortunately told some women in my life that, and they didn't necessarily love that. But the idea of, I put so much, I put a lot of time, energy, effort, and energy into practicing baseball. A lot of people might view that as work. I've never one day woken up and am like necessarily annoyed in the fact that I have to go into the office, which is basically a baseball field. I get to be active and I get to go to the gym. I get to condition and, run. Not necessarily my favorite thing to do, but, all these things, I've never viewed them as work. I enjoy every single second that I'm able to play the game of baseball. And I understand also at the end of the day, some guys are lucky enough to play until they're 40 years old. Well, what do you do after that? What do you do post-playing career? You still have half of your life to live. So I want to be able to, not only set myself up for the future, but also take care of business as I'm playing and, be the best version and best player that I can be.
Well, I have some breaking news here. It looks like my NFTs have revealed, and here they are. So I will.
All right.
So there they are.
So it looks like you got one signature. You got the Army on another one. So the signature, I believe, is on the right one, 1764.
Yeah.
So a signature series. This is kind of a good segue into some utility that we bring to the Diamond Dog holders and my community. So around 50% of the tokens have my signature in the bottom right. That's one of the VIP access that we're granting holders that have that specific trait. That signature series means you're going to be able to come to one of my games and ultimately watch me go about my passion of playing baseball. The reason why we chose about 50%, so there you go, the signature right there. The reason why we chose 50% is because more than likely we travel all over the country, sometimes actually internationally as well. So sometimes, people in London are like, well, I don't care about a signature series. Well, I'm sure you would if we have a thing called the London series, which we had planned in 2020, where we actually fly over to London. I'm not sure the venue, but it's one of the bigger, soccer stadiums, I'm pretty sure, in the heart of London, and they convert it to a baseball field. And they actually had that Yankees and Red Sox back in 2019. We were actually going to be part of that in 2020, but MLB is constantly trying to grow the game of baseball internationally. That means Mexico, Puerto Rico, even Japan. When we're talking about World Baseball Classic or even the Olympics, that really broadens it to the entire world. So with having that signature series, it allows you to come watch my game free of charge. From the player side, we have a thing called a will call ticketing list where it's basically for friends and family. And well, guess what? If you hold a Diamond Dog, you're basically family at that point. So it would be an incredible experience to be able to. Thank you. That's where it's coming from. The cooler, I think the one up that you could have potentially minted is a stadium background. We call those the Stadium Series, and that's Camden Yards, the home of the Baltimore Orioles. I was born in Baltimore and was a fan of them. That was also my first ever ballpark that I went to when I was about 4 years old. And that's going to give you access to a one-on-one stadium tour with myself, prior to a game. So like I said, we get to the field around 2:00 most days. I'd probably show up around noon, meet up with some of my community holders, and we get to just, talk shop and just, get to know each and every one of maybe your family members that come along. And just, you get to know me, I get to know you. And I think that's going to be some very, very valuable conversations that come out of that.
So Evan, I think I might have actually won that one because behind me I see a stadium right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you just send me but that's fantastic. And my daughter is actually at Wash U in St. Louis.
Okay,
so
go.
Maybe I'll come and meet you there, or we'll do it, we'll do it at Citi Field when you're playing the Mets and Andrew is hosting. I mean, can you believe where we ended up with molten lava cake? I just want to make sure that people, first of all, 0.03 ETH for those people that are new to the space was $88. For the joy that this has brought me or will bring me, for this whole engagement, for being part of a community, the gas is fleeting. You use your gas, you fill up, you drive somewhere, and ultimately you fill up again. Gas is just part of life, but this is life. And the one thing that I wanted to say with Fanzo when he was here was, we're moving. I'm now doing, like, I'm coming up with a soundbite, which I don't normally do on the show, but it's a real one. It's from vanity metrics to humanity metrics. That's what I see you doing, Evan. You are building those humanity metrics, and it's just a wonderful thing to see. I also want people to see that this is from the actual website. I loved it. This is more than just baseball characters. This is the evolution we're about to witness on how athletes are able to express themselves off the playing field. You don't have to wait until you retire. You don't have to wait until baseball is over to give back and to grow and to be part of a community. And so, Evan, I am blessed to have had the opportunity to meet you, to see what you're up to, trait changes. I'm going to cash in that signature. Maybe I'll even pay it forward and give it to someone whose dream it is to meet you or be at one of your games. We do one more thing before we go. We've got a few more minutes left. I always try and find a quote. And this is the quote I found for you, Evan. Always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it. And this, believe it or not, more interesting than the quote is who said it. This was Bruce Lee.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
I love that. That's a good one. Yeah.
So if you want to know more about the Diamond Dawgs, this is one of those moments. I have been through so many of these NFT collections that mint out before even the public launch. The greatest gift that you can get right now, if you are watching, is to be able to become part of these slow burn communities where the founder is committed. I mean, you've just met him, where you have the ability to be part of something that is so much bigger than just a fancy JPEG. So at 0.03, let's all come together and let's make sure that this collection mints out. It's not an if, it's a when. So you can go to diamonddawgsnft.com and mint, especially if it's your first mint. What a great opportunity. You can join their Discord, follow them on Twitter. And of course, if you want to connect with Evan, whether it's his philosophy, his cooking, his painting, his hairstyling, his modeling, I mean, there's nothing the man can't do. You can follow him on Instagram, on Twitter, connect with him on Discord, duet a sea shanty with him on TikTok, or just shop Mendoza. I believe there is a new Evan Mendoza hair gel coming out soon. I'm just kidding. We are going to step into. My son is watching. He said, "Dad, can you buy me one?" Answer: I just did. I bought you 3 as well. So shout out to Aaron Jaffe. Evan, you want to do a little shout out to Aaron Jaffe?
Yeah, Aaron. I hopefully that you come out to a game one day, and we'll be able to connect, and I'll get to meet you, and maybe I'll sign a ball and everything.
Dad just became cool for the first time as well. And Keith says, Evan hair gel, he loves it as well. Evan, I wanted to ask you for one thing, but what we'll do is we'll let the show end. Hang on, don't go off. Just something I was going to ask you to do it before, but I was going to just ask you to do a little shout out or promo for me, which I imagine you'd be okay with as well. You can think about it. This is Evan Mendoza, hairstylist, philosopher, master chef, etc., and shortstop for the world champion St. Louis Cardinals. And you are watching the very not famous Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous, or something like that. But before we do, we leave you with another superstar who wishes he could spend more time with Evan Mendoza. It is Chuck Norris. And here's what Chuck had to say about you.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
And we are going to head to the after show in Discord. I will post that in the comments right now, and we'll see you there soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.
It's the first time I've ever done this, by the way, which is actually ending the show with a little bit of an Easter egg. And we're still live at the moment, but honestly, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just forgot to ask you, are you okay doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I probably will leave out the hairstylist part.
No, then forget about it. All right. So go for it, and I'm just going to pretend that I had no idea you were about to do it.
All right. My name is Evan Mendoza, the founder and artist, and also pro baseball player with the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm a shortstop, and thank you, Joe, for having me on. He's not famous, so everyone check out his YouTube and all the awesome interviews that he has been compiling throughout the past couple of years.
Perfect. Jaffe coins in the mail.
Jaffe coins.